This week on the podcast, wishes do come true. Carrie and I are both going on sailings on the Disney Wish, and we're sharing our packing tips. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hello, pal.
Hello. I was just saying I look kind of tired on this as I'm my eyes a little puffy.
I think you look beautiful.
My cheeks are puffy, but that's just something
But that's because you're smiling. You're
always
always smiling.
That's because of sugar and chips and ice cream, probably. Hello, pal.
Oh my gosh. Hello. And we don't do the video recording. It's funny because just this morning I sent you a clip that I saw in my podcast group about how people are like, what's your biggest regret or what do you wish you knew sooner about podcasting? And everybody was talking about turning on the video.
Yeah.
That they wish they'd done it.
I need to learn how to do something to these under-eye luggage I'm carrying under my eyes.
Yours is a carry-on. Mine's full size.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
It does. How are you?
I'm all right.
Other than being a little tired?
A little sleepy, but we're earlier. We're a couple hours earlier than usual, or an hour earlier than usual.
Yeah.
But we were up and at 'em, so we were like, let's get her done.
Yes, for sure. Because we get so much going on these days. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the summer, and maybe it's activities. Maybe it's just the convergence of everything coming together. Mm-hmm. D23 is not far off. We just got all our pin confirmations.
Yeah, we did.
Which, I was trying to explain to someone at work that D23, Disney has mastered the art of
taking our money.
Of making, not only taking our money, but making you beg them to take our money. Like, it's not just that we spend crazy money. We line up to give you money. We wait on hold to give you money. We submit our requests, and then you let us know what you're going to let us buy. And we're so excited if we get awarded the opportunity to give you hundreds of dollars in pins. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's exactly it.
And we do it, and we're so excited about it.
Yeah.
That is the magic of Disney.
even the other day I was chatting with someone about the agenda, like how we booked Destination D months and months and months and months ago. It sold out in like record time, 13 minutes or something crazy like that. And even like the last, bit of information that they posted, like we really still don't know what's happening.
We have no clue.
Like we know like the basic, they're going to have a Halloween thing on the Sunday night or a costume thing. And we don't know what the Saturday night entails. They kind of give you an idea of what they're going to talk about over the 2 days, but no detailed.
We know there's a store because we had to fight to get reservations to go in the store to buy stuff.
But we're less than a month away and we really don't know exactly what the itinerary is. And we've got hundreds of dollars worth of pin purchases on our credit cards. And we registered and paid for this thing months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
We've invested booked our airfare.
Expensive hotels, airfare, the whole 9 yards. And we're excited. And we have no idea
we don't even know why.
The credit cards are at the ready and we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So there will be an episode or two on D23 for sure. If we can, we'll try to record some snippets while we're there. We did that last year, and that was kind of fun to capture the excitement. While it was happening. Was it last year or the year before? Now I can't even
remember.
Other
year. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Right. It was 2 years ago because that was the year I met Josh Tomorrow.
Yes.
Was very exciting.
It was exciting.
It was exciting, but we're so busy lately because we've got travel plans, D23, and we are both doing separately. Somehow this happened. We both said we wanted to go on the Wish.
Yep.
And we're both going on the Wish. You're going first.
Just not together. We were unable to organize it. We both had opportunities, but they were separate opportunities, right?
Exactly.
That's the way to word it. So yeah, I'm going soon, and you're going soonish after me.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear what you think of it before I go. Like, I want you to tell me sort of where to focus, what to do, like that kind of stuff, because we're very similar in how we experience things.
Yeah, and we're both going just on the 3-night, like over the weekend. So,
Yes.
You don't mind being on a 3-night. That's usually not my favorite.
Yeah, you're not big on the short ones.
Because it's like the cruising kind of makes me feel funny type of reason usually. But I'm excited for this because I really want to go on the Wish finally, and it's been a long time since we had been on a Disney cruise. Or you went on after COVID. I haven't been since the Pixie Dust fan, so I'm excited to just be reminded about things, like, because you kind of like we know how everything works, but even just experience like using the app again and seeing, if things are a little bit better, like with the app and things, like how, like actually doing it instead of just thinking, how to
talking about it.
Talking about it all the time.
It's no secret that both Carrie and I book travel for others. So we do talk about how this works.
Yeah.
But it's very different when you experience it, that it's like, oh, I forgot about this little thing, or they've updated this and I didn't notice, like silly little things that you don't know until you do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for us, it's been like, when you cruised, it was during COVID, like right after COVID. So things were really wonky.
Things were very, very wonky. There were no buffets, no nothing, right? Like it was just a room at sea.
Yeah. So and I think some people have said like it's not much has changed, but like in my mind I'm thinking, well, I should experience it in case things have, like, or maybe it's just a refresher so that it's fresh in my mind, me experiencing it. But I think cruising is back to the way that it was, but I'm still there's got to be some new nuances or whatever that might be.
I would think different. So.
I think so.
And the restaurants too, right? Like, because it's a new ship, so it's important for us to experience that and see
the restaurants and the shows
and
I think that's what'll get the most enjoyment out of walking around the ship and really like comparing it to the others. That'll be the most fun of everything, I'm sure.
Well, I'm a little worried about that though, because people say when you compare it to the other ships, the Wish just don't add up.
I know, but
like in terms of layout.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because we're Disney nuts that love things. We hold lots of things near and dear to our heart for various reasons, right? So when it comes to the magic and the wonder as the original ships and everybody sailing on them so much and for so long, it's kind of like the Walt Disney World, how we're nostalgic for things. So yeah. It'll be interesting. So that's probably what I'm most excited for, just to kind of in my little brain wrestle with the Wish and what I like about it and what's different and all that stuff. So
yes. So when I come back after we've both done it, we should do a recap, the Wish versus the others, and what do we like, what did we didn't like. We'll
sure.
Go through all that for sure.
Make a list.
Yeah. Okay. So make a list. Make a list while you're there.
Okay, I'll try to remember.
So this episode we wanted to talk about the packing, because same thing, we're going on the same cruise, just a few weeks different, and we both need to think about packing, and we both haven't packed for a cruise in a very long time. Like when I did the cruise after COVID, that was the time I was there at Disney for a month. So I had my two bags. I had I brought everything but the kitchen sink on that cruise because I had it with me. Since then I did do the Virgin cruise and the Norwegian cruise, but it's a bit different than a 3-day Disney cruise. So thinking about packing and what are we going to take, and it's only 3 days, and I'm not adding on. So I have the night before, because you should never, ever, 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 ever fly in on the day of your cruise.
Right.
Especially in hurricane season, which we are both sailing in. Do you have any reservations about sailing in the storms?
Well, when I sailed, well, you have a lot more firsthand experience with it than me, but when we sailed last year on the Royal Caribbean, there was it was in early November, and it was the first storm to go up one coast since 1930, and then the other coast since 1980 in November. And they rerouted and we didn't even notice a thing. We had the most beautiful cruise ever. But it can, like, depending on, it can, like, cruises get canceled. You've had that happen, right? Like, cruises can get canceled and so it's crossed my mind a few times, but so far that, unfortunately for other areas of the planet, there seems to be hurricanes happening in other places and not so much in the regular places so far. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. That's my head right there.
Carrie's knocking on her head because she's trying to keep her hands away from her microphone and her desk, and she's doing a very good job this week.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So I haven't worried about it too much, but hopefully we'll be okay. Yeah, mine's probably, well, no, we're both going. Like we're only going within a month of each other, so
yeah.
And it's funny, like I'm going sooner and then you're going later, and I haven't started to pack yet, and my cruise is quite imminent.
Yeah, I know.
and I need you to come over and pack at the last minute for me.
We're recording actually pretty early for this episode because we're trying to get things done because Carrie's got such a busy travel schedule lately. So yeah, I can't believe you haven't started packing.
I know.
Now, so the question is, obviously you're just taking Squeaky, your little carry-on?
Actually, to be honest, I was thinking of going even smaller than Squeaky. No. It's 4 nights. I'm staying over 1 night and then 3 nights on a cruise. I might.
But what about, like, Carrie, what about your toiletries? Like, anything smaller than Squeaky, I can't even just take my toiletries. And I don't even wear makeup or anything anymore. Like, I'm talking about my moisturizer, my shampoo, my toothbrush, my hair ties, my brush, my round brush. Like,
well, that's the reason why I don't think I can make it work, is because I want to bring my big round brush dryer. That might be a little bit tricky. But anyways, we
both love that hair dryer.
Yeah, like I can't live without it usually. So I'm thinking, and the funny thing is, the person that I'm traveling with, as you know, I find, like, you know, you razz me all the time about how I pack or whatever, but you're never going to pack like me. But sometimes when I travel with other people, they know how I am. And then they almost feel like it's a challenge to, like, try to either pack the way that I do, or they feel the pressure. Like, should I try to do a carry on like Carrie, or should I, or do I just confess that I can never do it or whatever? Like, and even with traveling with Glenda the last time, she was trying to convince herself that she wanted to try to pack the same way. So I find it's funny that everyone's like, you know, they want to try to pack a carry-on. And I'm like, you do you. Like, I can't, like, if you want to pack like a friggin' trunk, like, pack a trunk. Like, I don't care. I got packing my carry-on and that's it. But I might try to go even smaller. We'll see. But that's what we're talking about today. How is Carrie going to pack even smaller? And it's only 3 nights.
Oh, I'm still checking a bag, I think. Like, you know what, though? Because I have my CPAP machine. And I know everybody's going to be like, but you get that free. It's an extra carry-on you're allowed to take. There's no room in the cabin. I do not like putting something up somewhere that I can't see. I don't know where it is. I got to wait for everybody to get off the plane so I can go to the back and get my bag. It bugs me. So I pack my CPAP in my suitcase. So that always takes up a chunk of space. Although, okay, so if I'm going to confess, I don't pack it if I'm going to Walt Disney World because I have a second one in my owner's locker. So that's not an excuse for my big one when I'm going to Walt Disney World. But for this one, yeah. So I'm not taking the big honking case because that I don't need. Too big. That. I'm thinking like a middle size. Maybe. I don't know. Because I want that big round brush too. So we both have the Revlon. I'm making
hair dryer brush.
You could see on video, I'm making hand gestures.
Spiraling hair hand gestures. Well, and I think with packing for a cruise, it's either like, I think you can kind of pack for a cruise sort of like how you pack for an all-inclusive vacation, sort of. They're sort of the same. And I think you can either pack, it's either one or the other, I think. I think you either can master like how to pack as little as you need. Like if you've cruised a few times, you know exactly what you need and how you're going to wear your clothes and do whatever. But I think cruising is also, like you can way overpack. Like,
don't you find that you need at least 2 outfits a day on a cruise? Like when I go to Walt Disney World, I get up in the morning and put my shorts, my t-shirt, I'm done. Like, unless I'm going, even if I'm going to California, girl, like that's my outfit. I just put on a nicer t-shirt if I know I'm going to California, girl. Right?
But I think with the cruise, like you can like, well, for me anyways, like that's why I say I kind of look at it as going on an all-inclusive. Like what happens when you're on an all-inclusive or you're on a cruise? You wake up, you either go to the pool, you go to the beach, you do your little excursion, you come back, you freshen up, you shower, you get dressed up for dinner and you go for dinner. Like that's pretty much every single day on a cruise, every single day on an all-inclusive vacation.
Pretty much.
You know, you're not a park warrior. You don't need to have like, you know, your best running shoes necessarily, whatever. So, you know, you can bring all kinds of different shoes. You can bring all different kinds of outfits, I suppose, if you want. But like for me with the cruise, and the reason why I pack so light is because you are spending, what you wear to dinner is just what you wear to dinner. So like if you have like if you had a nice black skirt or you had a nice pair of pants, like you could legit, like I could wear the same pants for dinner every single night on this cruise if I need to.
Well, yeah, because it's a 3-night cruise. You could wear the same pants.
So like really on a 7-night cruise, you could have 3 bottoms to go for all of your 7 nights of dinner easily. Yeah. Like if you're
in them for like 2 hours.
Exactly. Like you go to the show, you have dinner, and then maybe you go like, and it depends on what, you know, like how, like I'm not someone that really dresses up too fancy, right? Like, so I could see a cruise is definitely something where like you could each have your dinner outfit and then you could put on something for the disco if you wanted to. Like you could either be minimal and figure out what makes the most sense to pack light, which means you can bring more stuff home from the Disney cruise gift shop, or you legit could have a different pair of shoes. You could have for every single dinner, a different, like you could need a trunk on a cruise line or on an all-inclusive vacation if you wanted to have, you know, an outfit with matching everything, matching shoes, matching jewelry, matching everything, and you wanted to have a different one every single night.
Yeah.
So you can be like that if you want, or you could do like I'm very minimal because like I just want to make sure I'm dressed. There's clothes on my body.
Well, okay, so 2 outfits a day, but you could technically wear the same bottoms for every dinner.
Well, so and really, even when you're hanging around, like
3 shirts.
What if you're hanging around? Like, what if, like, you know, on a Disney cruise, like, let's say you and I on a Disney cruise, we're not going too far. Even if we were on a 7-night cruise, we're not going to be leaving the ship very much, right? Like, if it was a 7-night cruise, so we're going to be lounging around. So that's the thing. You'd be lounging around in your bathing suit with a cover up, or maybe, you know, a certain type of dress or something, whatever. Like you'd be lounging a lot of the times too. Like when you really know how you travel, like you can kind of curtail your packing to match how you really travel, right? I could definitely fit in this little tiny case if I need to. But anyways.
I'm interested to see how small you go. I know I'm going medium. I have to. But that does add the complexity of I have to be at the airport. We were talking about this before we started recording. The flights are the key. So the key thing for people to know is you got to fly in the day before. Absolutely. You cannot risk your flight being delayed and you miss your ship. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, it happens all the time, the way flights change. So don't do it. So we're both flying in the day before our cruises, but the flight home is always the trick too. So you can walk off the ship first thing as soon as the ship is cleared, and they try to clear the ship by like 7:30. I know all of this in detail because I've been researching it. So unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know which one it is, my opportunity for the Disney Wish came up on a weekend that my unmagical job has a very big project going live for which I am in charge of. So I'm only in charge of one of 8 parts of it, but yeah. So I technically should not be offline at any point over this weekend.
Oops.
So I have negotiated, begged, borrowed, pleaded, and I have some people standing by to help, but I really need to just get home on the Monday. So there's an 11 a.m. flight and an 8 p.m. flight. So I have the choice of getting to the airport and then basically working from the airport until 8 p.m. or getting to the airport and hoping to get on that 11 o'clock flight. So I could technically even be in the office by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I booked the 11. However, I booked the 11 with the flight that'll allow me to change it. So if at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I keep thinking of Dinosaur. You know, when they do that, we're not going to make it. I can switch it to the later flight. But this is a big deal for people, right? Like they do tell you 11:30 is the earliest you should book a flight. And even that they tell you is cutting it close.
Well, too, and also like a domestic flight within the United States versus, you know, the international flights going to Canada.
Exactly. I mean, I have my Nexus, so hopefully that helps me a lot. But, and I never find that, honestly, I don't find the lines at Orlando Airport. Like they run that like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they might be pretty ugly that time of the day, though. They might be
a little dicey.
But yeah, like if you get off as early as you can, I think you'll be twiddling your thumbs and you'll be there in ample time. But the reason why they say that is because sometimes now, because we always tell people not to do that 11 o'clock flight.
Yeah. So this is don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah, because sometimes what if something happened and they have to clear the entire ship, the customs and whatever, like all the legal government stuff that has to happen when the ship arrives back to the United States. So like there could be times where like they won't they want to let people off at like 7 o'clock or whatever as early as they possibly can. But what if something happens and they can't let anybody off till 9? Then you're missing then there's quite possibly missing your 11 o'clock flight. So, but
yeah. And we've seen that, happen. I've been on ships where that happened. I was on the Fantasy when it had some technical difficulties and we actually didn't get back to port until like 11 o'clock in the morning. And people missed their flights. And I was sitting there like Smuggy McSmuggy pants. Oh, well, that's why you don't book a flight so early. But look at me now. But yes, so that whole story was to say, because I'm taking a checked bag, that also adds to I need to get there early because they shut down the acceptance of bags 90 minutes before the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So I technically need to have checked my bag by 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. There will be a report when I get back. Okay. So
what
is going to be in your luggage? What is the necessity? So I think we've covered the fact that clothes are important.
Yeah.
But
and you do need like
dinner clothes should be nice.
Yeah, different than Walt Disney World, like you said. Like you could go into almost every single restaurant at Walt Disney World with exactly the same thing you wore at the theme park all day long. And on a cruise, generally, you could too. They don't want you walking in like you're coming off of you can't be wearing beach attire. But I think
come out of the pool and walk into the restaurant.
Yeah, but I think they really like what they want cruising to be is that you do go, you enjoy your day and you freshen up for a nice dinner. Like, so but you could wear whatever, really. But generally, most people do follow the get freshened up because you're going to a show too, right? All the cruise ships have shows at nights. And you see sometimes, like when we were on our Royal Caribbean cruise, like, there's some people like go to dinner in like their daytime attire or wear something a little bit nicer. Some people go to dinner like in bedazzled, like jeweled gowns.
Yes.
With matching stiletto heels, right?
Right.
So I'm sure that person probably packs a trunk on their weekend.
And that's the thing. So I like to wear my shorts and a t-shirt to dinner on the ship because that's who I am. Mm-hmm. However, I find on a Disney cruise so I just bring like either like a nice pair of pants or even just cargo pants or something like that just they look better than my shorts. Mm-hmm. Like they look better than shorts. And then maybe I bring like a nice solid color t-shirt or a blouse or something like that for dinner. Not like a blouse, like a fancy blouse, but people still say blouse.
Yeah, I think so.
But like not like a ruffly blouse, but like It's like a work shirt.
A work shirt. That's what we call it.
You're looking at me. You're giving me this look like, keep going. I'm not helping you.
She'll get to it soon. There comes work shirt.
But yeah, so you need those. I like those for in the evening.
Yeah, for sure. So so packing is and really and everybody's even if you told somebody exactly how they could pack, like it really depends on how you are, right? Like, you know, there's some people that want to, like with your t-shirts at Walt Disney World, you want to have variety. You want to be able to choose. You want to feel what you want to feel. Do you want to wear red tonight? Do you want to wear purple? Should I wear this dress, that dress, this dress, or that dress? Like I only need 3 dresses, but I've packed 8 of them because I don't know, you know, what I want to wear on whatever night.
This morning, before I came downstairs, I swear I tried on 4 different shirts. I am going nowhere. I am seeing you on video. I am in the house all day. And I might see my nephew when he drops off some chicken that they bought at M&M's for me. And yet I tried on 4 different shirts.
Wow.
I don't know why. And look at the one I picked. Like, it's not like it's super duper. Like it's just a classic Mickey Mouse. Yeah. But it just, how do I feel? What's the weather? Is it cold? Is it warm? Like, do I want a thick shirt, a thin shirt?
Oh my goodness. So, okay. So back to the cruise packing then. So I guess more like some of the things that I pack that I might pack differently than a Walt Disney World vacation.
What's different on a cruise?
What's different? Like I'll probably pack I'll pack a bathing suit, which I usually don't pack when I go to Walt Disney World.
Yes.
No, but like on this, like I'll make sure that I have I'll make sure I have a hat. I'll make sure I have like ample, fresh, ready to go sunscreen. I'll make sure I have I'll probably pack some water shoes in case I go near the actual real oceany water. I'll pack Gravel or something for which I like that.
Yeah, Dramamine or
Dramamine. Yeah. I actually, when I was in Italy, our ABD guide had something called travel gum, and I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but he says it's only available in Italy. So I have my travel gum, and then I bought when I was in the US, I bought some ginger chews, and it might be by the Dramamine.
Okay, company. Yeah. My friend Angela uses those. She gave me them. Yeah.
So I have the ginger chews. I have the travel gum. I'm going to give them a try. And so I pack stuff like that. And then I think I really am more responsible when it comes to, like I said, the sunscreen, the sunglasses, the hats, all that stuff, because I know that when I'm on a cruise in a different spot, different type of sun, different type of heat, that I need to be a little bit more responsible. To make sure I'm slathered with sunscreen. And
it's such a good point.
Like there's if I'm actually in the sun, like in a bathing suit on this cruise, like my skin, there's parts of my body that has not seen the sun for very long. So I will probably be lobster. I have a funny story. Like, I don't know if I ever told it, but years and years ago, my sister went on her first vacation when she was an adult, and she wanted to go to Miami. So we went and we booked a week or almost a week at South Beach. We stayed in this retro Art Deco hotel before. Now it probably would cost God knows how much a night. And we did a really short Carnival cruise. So we did a Carnival cruise and we did the week. And my sister and I don't go too far. Definitely don't lounge around in our bathing suits. And we went into the ocean in Miami. And it was we were in the water for 20 minutes. We were covered up to our chins. We were sunk down in the water, but we were frolicking, having the best time ever. Probably really, even when I think back, the joy we had in experiencing it, it was so much fun. It was a highlight. Anyways, barely in the water for very long. Didn't lounge on the beach, didn't sunbathe, didn't anything, and we were our backs were like lobsters. So then we went on the cruise, and it was old Carnival cruise, and they had the bed separated, 2 twin beds, and my sister and I pretty much had to we had to figure out how to find tank tops. I think we had to go try to find to buy old school tank tops, tube tops. Sorry, not tank tops, tube tops. We had to look to find tube tops, and then legit we had to soak each other with aloe vera because our backs were like lobsters for like frolicking in the ocean. Our little backs that had never seen that sunlight before. So ever since then, my mother reminds me, but I'm always responsible when I'm traveling outside of like, you know, Disney. It doesn't matter because I don't, whatever, Disneyland, it doesn't matter. But whenever I'm doing anything like that, a cruise or an all-inclusive or whatever, I have to be very responsible.
Yes.
In that department, because I learned my lesson years ago. Years ago. It was not even good.
Like back then, it wasn't a big, like, you didn't know what the long lasting effects were. Like, I remember even as a kid when we used to go to the beach, I would get blisters. That's just what you did because our skin was so fair and you'd get blisters, and they made spray cans of stuff. I kid you not. And it was like what you did at the end of the day when we left the beach is we each took turns spraying each other with this healing spray for our blisters.
Oh my goodness.
Like, we didn't even think about it. It was so stupid. But now you're right. Like the sun on the beach and in the salt water.
Did not know.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
It was so much. It was such a wonderful moment.
Yes.
It was until we were on our cruise and we couldn't. Yeah. And for a couple of days it got better. But anyway, so yes, so I pack a lot of that stuff that I wouldn't necessarily pack on a wall. Like I wouldn't even pack sunscreen when I go to Disney World. Like maybe a little bit for my face.
Yeah, because you don't even, but when you're in Walt Disney World, you know how hot it is. Like you're standing outside and you're drenched in the sweat. On a cruise and on a beach, it's very different. You're lulled into this false sense that it's not that hot because there's usually a breeze. Mm-hmm. And so you don't really feel your skin burning because of the breeze, especially on the ship. Like it always feels kind of cool and you don't realize that your skin is literally burning. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So sunscreen is definitely a must. A hat, glasses, sunglasses, water shoes. What else is, I actually pack smaller toiletries. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but like when I go to Walt Disney World, because I have a bigger case, I can bring like my shampoo, my conditioner. Like I just bring the regular bottles. I usually don't put them in travel size, blah, blah, blah. But the bathrooms on a cruise ship do not have like excess room for all of your stuff.
Yeah, they're tiny.
So you kind of have to downsize. Like there's not a lot of room to have like full size stuff with you. Like even your hairdryer. That hairdryer, while we both love it, where on earth do you put it? In the bathroom?
I don't know that. I don't know. I think I always use it in the living room.
Right? Like in the room, and you keep it in a drawer. Like there's no room to. So that part, like your toiletries and stuff, you kind of have to downsize them because there isn't a lot of room to store that stuff in the bathroom.
Right. Yeah, I find like for me, I think too with you have to. Well, I guess it depends on which cruise line you're going on. Like you can't always assume that everything will be there for you either, right? Like the quality that you want. Like with Disney, we know right now it's H2O. So like I'm not packing any toiletries. Like I'm gonna pack like I could pack toiletries in a pencil case. My contacts, my little things like nail clips, maybe, or a couple of
case with some
like
pens and stuff in case she needs to write something.
Like I won't bring too much because I know what's going to be there. And like for me, like bringing the Dramamine or that stuff, I bring a little tiny container of Advil and Tylenol. I'm not going to bring like a big jumbo thing.
You don't bring the full size pill.
I have a little tiny circle thing that I got at the Miniso store that I have them in that works quite well. So I don't bring anything. I don't bring anything extra, like bringing the Gravol and stuff. Sometimes like I've tried in the past those bands, like on cruises, people have those bands, those pressure bands, and I don't know that they work.
They don't work for you, do they?
But I'll probably bring them anyways because they don't take up much space. They're in like a little tiny case, but I'll bring them.
And do you bring the ear patches?
No, I've never tried them. Never tried them.
I tried them once 100 years ago when we were on the ship that got derailed by a hurricane. And it was rough, like YouTube video rough. I had it on and I actually felt worse with it on. But my niece and nephew, like it helped them like it helped them a lot. So I guess it just depends on who you are, whether they help or not, those patches that you put behind your ears. But they usually sell them on a cruise ship. Like they usually, if you're in a pinch, they usually have something on the ship that'll help you if you're not feeling well. And of course the medical center will too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Unless of course you're on Norwegian. When I was on that Norwegian Prima, I could not find Gravel or Dramamine or anything to save my life, which I thought in the store, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
But Disney always has that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, clips. If you plan on leaving your stuff outside so if you have a balcony and you plan on leaving your stuff outside to dry, you should bring some clips like, clothes hanger clips. What are they called? Like
clothes hanger clips. Clothespins.
That's it.
But technically, I don't think we're supposed to put anything. You're not supposed to put anything on the...
On your balcony? Like on your seat?
It'll fly away.
Well, that's why you have the clips.
Oh, okay.
To clip to the chair. Like if I have my swimsuit or something, I know you're supposed to hang it in the bathtub. But if you're only on a 3-night cruise, it's not going to dry in the bathtub. If you wear it like on the Sunday and you got to pack your suitcase.
Well, I think some people probably bring multiple bathing suits probably too. I think, and bring Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags are good for cruises, for things like that, for wet bathing suits when you're on a cruise that's only a couple of days and things might not be dry when it's time to pack to go home. Big Ziploc bags.
Now, do you bring door decorations?
I have in the past, like nothing too crazy, but like if I've made like little magnets with our names or like things to put on the door to leave a note or whatever, but I don't go too crazy.
I don't.
No, door decorations. One thing that I for a Disney cruise is you can bring pins. So I'll bring a couple of pins for trading, maybe just in case there's
a pin night.
I don't know if they still do the officers trading or pin trading in the store. So I'll bring a couple of pins, which is, well, I guess that's not different than a Disney trip, but different people might not think about that going on a cruise. If you're a Disney fan, that if you bring pins, you might have the opportunity to trade.
So the door decorations can be big for some people, but they all just bring magnets and
they don't take a lot of space.
Yeah, you can put that on your door if you want. We're just not like joiners like that. And the same with fish extenders. So do they still do those on the cruise?
I think so.
I was looking at it for someone else and I was pretty sure they still have the fish extenders where they hang this bag on your, it's called a fish extender because it's a fish outside your room that you hang stuff on.
It used to be a hook over that was a fish shape.
Yeah. And now, so you hang things and then you leave gifts for people and they leave gifts for you. And there's all sorts of groups and stuff. To me, that's too much work. It's like, I'm going on vacation. I don't want to be making gifts for people that I don't know. It's lovely and it's community, but it's too much work.
But back to packing though, too, is that you have to bring all, like, depending on what kind of group it is, like, because some of these fish extender groups do some pretty crazy things that they give you for fish extenders, like, and how many people are involved in it. Like, you need the space to bring home all the stuff you have. Like, that's people give like mugs and cups and like big things. Like, people sometimes give like craft up pretty large things and, you know, bags of like and candy and things. Like, you definitely need the space to bring home the stuff that you get in the fish extender and like bringing it back to the packing.
And take the stuff that you're going to bring for people too.
Well, I guess if you brought something really, really big,
it's like, it's keychains I'm bringing for everybody, but then what if you get mugs back? Like,
and that's the thing, like, it's not even like they make it one for everybody in the family. So somebody might like craft like a I don't know, like a canteen, like drink water container. But like if there's 5 of you in your stateroom, they make one for everybody. So then you've got 5 things to bring home.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of pressure for people to like do fancier things sometimes too. Like, it really depends on the group you're in. You know, because sometimes people just want to do something small, like a Canada keychain and some candy, and you know, some people go out and like personalize, you know, things for people, and it's a little crazy.
So I've never done it before. No, me neither. But if you're in one of those groups, you got to consider you need that space for your packing too. So the stuff you take and the stuff you bring home.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that's specific to a cruise, Carrie, that you take? I think it's different for us, but if you were traveling with kids, it would be important to have a carry-on bag that you're going to keep with you, because it's a little different at the ship. Meaning, even though it's a carry-on on the plane, they can take it from you at the port and put it in your room. You don't have to walk around with it all day until your room is ready, because your room isn't ready when you get on the ship. So you have time to go explore, eat, do what you want to do. But if you're traveling with kids, you might want to have different outfits, different things that you're bringing on with you in that carry-on, even if you're giving the other quote unquote non-airplane carry-on to the porters at the ship. So you have to remember that you need to separate things for that first day when you get on the ship and for the last day when you're getting off the ship, right? Because you have to kind of organize your stuff if you're going straight to the airport.
Right.
Which is a consideration you don't have elsewhere.
Right, that's true too. And on cruise ships, often you can bring you can bring drinks like alcohol and bring bottled water and things like that. So, planning appropriately, you could bring those on board and pack those. I don't ever bring alcohol on board, but I might bring on like big bottles of water to have in the room or.
Yes. Yes. I have brought alcohol on board. But sometimes it's just more of a hassle to go and, like, when you're on vacation, to go and try and find the alcohol to bring on board to save yourself $10. Like, just buy the drink at the bar. Like,
and the refillable beer glass.
Exactly. The one thing I am looking forward to is that they will have regular beer on this cruise. I think I mentioned that on my Virgin cruise, it was all like craft beer and stuff. So, I don't like that stuff. So I'm at least looking forward to some regular beer on this cruise. But I know a lot of people bring like magnets with hooks and stuff for inside the room. I really think Disney already has thought of that stuff inside the room. Like, there's plenty of room in the closets. There's plenty of hangers. Yeah. Like, I don't bring that stuff. Like, I know people go on and on about some of this stuff, but I actually don't think it's that necessary. Do you?
No, I don't think so. But I think we're more like we look at it in more simple compared to, like, if, we had 3 kids in the stateroom, we might want to play, we might want some hooks and some other things to hang things up.
Maybe. But I mean, there aren't, like, with the hanger, and they do have hooks in the rooms. Like, they do have things and places for you to hang things, and the closets are big and there's plenty of drawer space. Like, I guess, yeah, maybe if you had 5 people in the stateroom, you might need them.
I think often people pack like night lights, like things to have night lights. I think that's a pretty popular thing to bring. Like, I don't know that you need. I don't think you need any. Some people pack like white noise things for when they travel. Like, I think a cruise ship is nothing but white. What is it called? It's white like noise? Like open, like you can hear the ocean, you can hear things.
It's like the best sleep you ever have on a cruise ship, isn't it?
The moving of the ship rocks and puts you to sleep type of thing. It's either, I think you either love it or you either love it and you don't even notice anything about it and you just sleep like a baby, or you struggle. Like, I don't know if there's anything in between. I think it's one or the other. Because some people will say, "Oh, this was the most noisiest cabin ever," and some person will say it was the best sleep they've ever had in their life, right? But,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other things we would pack on a cruise that we might not pack. And I think it's hard for us because we are kind of like just roll with the punches kind of gals. type of people.
But I think that's the important part, that it really isn't necessarily that different in terms of like an all-inclusive vacation. Right? So it's different maybe from the parks, where you want to have your matching shirts and you want your 17 pairs of shoes so that you have different comfortable ones, and if they get wet and blah, blah, blah. But on a cruise, the weather's going to be good. Chances are, if the weather's bad, they're taking you somewhere else where the weather is good. Like, they have the opportunity to take you where it's good. You don't need to worry that you're out traipsing around in the rain. There's plenty of indoor activities if it does, rain or it's cold or whatever. I don't think there's that much different than an all-inclusive other than the fact that you need to have like motion sickness stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think like if you didn't have some of the things, like I think the motion sickness pills and whatever, but like on a cruise, there's so much to do and it's so exciting, especially if you've never cruised before. Like, you know, if you don't have the night light or you don't have the hooks or you don't have, you know, you didn't do the fish extender or put a magnet on your door or whatever. Like, even if, you know, a lot of times people pack refillable mugs for the water stations and whatever, like, you know, if you don't do any of the little, you know,
insider tips,
like cruising's awesome and everything you need is generally there anyways, right? Like,
exactly.
So it's just, you know, figuring out what to pack that makes a sense. Like, you want to be comfortable and have all the clothes you need and the changes you need. And, you know, I think with kids, you need to pack a lot more, you know, more clothes, obviously. More,
yeah,
you know, books, like on a cruise, you can actually relax.
Yeah.
You know, you can bring stuff to read or.
Make sure you have ample space because the stores on the cruise do have good stuff and stuff that you can only buy there.
Mm-hmm.
So there is merchandise that's Disney Cruise Line specific that you can only get on the ship. And then there is Disney Cruise Line specific Castaway Cay merchandise that you can only get at Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah,
you're bound to find something you like.
Yes. So a new t-shirt is in my future because I bought a beautiful peach one the last time I was on Castaway Cay and I spilled something on it and it was like an oil. So there's there's like this big round spot underneath the sun on the shirt. So I can't wear it. Yeah. I might try to treat it with I accidentally bought 2 bottles. Do you need any OxyClean? Because I bought 2 bottles of it accidentally on Amazon. Anyway, okay, so Carrie, have we covered what we're packing
I don't know if we've helped anybody else, but we've talked it through. I think we're in good.
I think we're in good shape.
Less stressed that I don't really need it. I'm just going to pack pretty quick and pretty.
I think you're good. So now we've reduced your stress about packing for your trip.
Yeah.
So have a fabulous time. We will. There is D23 is in between our 2 trips.
Yeah.
So our Disney Wish comparative discussion will happen after that.
Yeah. In the fall time.
Fall time. Yes. Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
What is your pixie dust this week? What are you enjoying? What brought you joy? Where are you?
Well, it's been busy. Things have been busy. Just generally. And what's brought me joy is that Glenda and I...
Don't say it.
Glenda and I have been practicing for the puzzle competition.
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you, we were trying to do it once or twice a week. We determined with my travel schedule that if we kind of stuck to a certain day of the week, we wouldn't get to puzzle very much. So we've decided it's more of a, what are you doing tonight? You want to puzzle? Want to practice? So we practice a little bit more. So in a crazy busy time, our puzzling practices brought me so much joy because, like, no joke, it's we've been doing a couple puzzles every time we sit. We keep track of our time. We date it.
Yeah.
We discuss what we could have done better, what we should have, how we could have, whatever. And our time, we think, we still probably need a couple more puzzling practice sessions to determine, is it just the puzzle or are we getting better? Like, are certain puzzles a lot easier? But the last one we did was we thought was pretty tricky and we did an okay time. So we're getting very, very excited. And, like, honestly, when we do our practice, we want to puzzle even more, but we know, like, we're like, it's, you know, it's getting late. We got to work the next day. So
Carrie,
we've been puzzling and doing
puzzling for, oh my gosh.
And we've been shaking down, I was shaking down some people. So I've had some people that I know that are puzzlers, lend me some puzzles, and we've been buying puzzles, trying to find 500-piece puzzles to practice on. So we've got a pretty big stack. But yeah, we'll need more, but we're working at it. We got a bit of time before the competition, but like, honestly, that's the light of my, it's the puzzle competition that keeps.
Gosh.
It's
Carrie,
like
Every week until the puzzle competition, Carrie's Pixie Dust is going to revolve around puzzling, and I am so excited for you.
It's so much fun.
I think everybody's really excited for you because we know how much you love this. We know how much it means to you. I wish I could be there, with the sign and yeah,
I don't think we did. We asked in the Facebook group that they said that people can, like, there can be spectators, but they says it's very, very, very small space. Like most of the space is taken up by the puzzling. So yeah, they said, not ideal for people to come and watch, but we'll see.
It's okay. When you go to the national championships, it'll be like a big auditorium, like the Karate Kid, and I'll be sitting in the audience with your mom, and I'll run out at the end when you win.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen. Our goal is just to finish within the time frame. We think we'll be okay.
Can do it.
We'll be okay for the pairs. We know for sure, unless it's like the most ridiculous hard puzzle ever. We know we'll be okay. The puzzle together, we could do it in 2 hours. We've done lots of them. Okay, when we practice, it's the single ones that we're afraid of. Well, like I said, I think Glenda will be okay, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to finish the single one in time. But we're still practicing doubles. We're going to do that a little bit more, and then we're going to start to practice singles. We're going to see how we do, like doing a 500 piece on our own. So we've got plans. We just don't have. If we could practice every night, honestly, we probably would. I was joking with her that on the week before the competition, I might just stay at her house.
You should, and then you can just fit in a puzzle whenever you want.
Every night we're just going to puzzle. We're just a puzzle nonstop. Anyway, so that's my Pixie Dust. I'm going to unknowingly figure out a way to make the puzzling my Pixie Dust, but it truly is. I'm not just making it up. It is. And I'm going to practice. I think tomorrow night we're going to. I can't wait. We can't wait.
Awesome.
So anyway, so what's your Pixie Dust?
Well, before I get to my Pixie Dust, we forgot to read that review at the beginning of the podcast, Carrie. Because we forget.
Why do you tell people that we forget? Why don't you just say, but before my Pixie Dust, I want to do this review. We gotta confess everything.
I know.
We're it's just honesty. That's how we roll. If anybody wants to know, this is us.
So Mariana T via Apple Podcast, 5-star, love the show, bi-weekly would be fine. It says, your podcast, Positivity and Friendship, is awesome. Thanks for sharing it with the world. You guys are bright stars in an often too negative world. You said on your most recent episode you might switch up the scheduling. Totally cool, and I think bi-weekly would be my vote, but you guys should do whatever works for your busy lives. No matter how often you can post, I'm sure your loyal listeners will be there. Thanks again for such a great show and insights into all things Disney. Marianne. Thank you so much. Marianne. And she gave us like a little smiley face and a Canadian flag and a thumbs up and a castle.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you. So yes, we did talk about switching up the schedule, and quite frankly, we haven't even had time to figure out what we're doing. So we're going to just keep going until we figure it out. So for now, it's still weekly, and hopefully we can figure that out in the future. Mm-hmm. But thank you for the review. That was awesome. And please, if you haven't yet, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps. My Pixie Dust. So I think I talked about it before, that I was going to buy a sit-stand desk. Did I talk about that before?
I think you said you bought it. You finally bought it. Was that Pixie Dust a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
So I bought it, but I was a little nervous because they use this. Have you ever heard of Canpar? They're horrible. Mm-hmm. Like, their shipping is horrible. Like, honest to goodness, every time I've ever had anything shipped with Canpar, it gets lost. However, it did not. So my desk arrived. Yay! But I didn't think it through, Carrie. So we haven't talked since then, but I had it shipped to my shipping place, Penguin Pickup, where I ship everything. Mm-hmm. So yay! I go there the other night and I go in and the girl's like, you got some packages from Amazon, but how are you getting this thing home? And I'm like, huh? I didn't even think about how am I getting it home from Penguin Pickup, Carrie?
You should have shipped it to your house.
I know, but now that I got to go in the office, I can't have things shipped here because I never know when I'm going to be home. So in my wisdom, because this desk is going to last the rest of my natural life, I bought the biggest desk, the biggest one. So anyway, so the other night, my nephew, God love him, we go up to Penguin Pickup and we pick up the first box, which is all the legs and whatever. It's heavy, But we get it in the back of my car. We drive it home. Hallelujah. One thing down. Then we go back for the tabletop.
Oh, no.
So we open the trunk. I have a Ford Escape. We slide the tabletop in, and it's like maybe a foot sticking out the back. So I'm like, okay, Andrew, we folded down the seats. We get the 2 front seats. We push them all the way forward as far as they'll go. And then it's like an inch too long.
Oh, no.
So then we decide if we fold the seats forward, we can get that inch if we tilt it. So we did. Trunk closes. Andrew and I now have to get in the seats. So we get in. Carrie, I kid you not, the steering wheel was on my throat. Like, thankfully, it's like 4 blocks from my house. But we're driving. Carrie, we should have taken pictures because the girls from Penguin were outside going like, I don't think this is gonna work. But we got it in. We're driving home and I'm like, Andrew, I'm struggling to try and get my leg up for the brake.
Oh my goodness.
I look over at him and he's like a pretzel. His arms up over his head, the second arm's down under his chin, and he's like, well, that's reassuring. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna wet myself. Anyway, we finally got it home. God love them. The 2 of us got it up the stairs. We assembled it. And I now have a sit-stand desk in my living room. And I stood all day pretty much for work yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it works. It works. We did it properly. Nothing broke. Yay.
How long did it take to put it together? Was it hard to put it together?
You know what? The instructions weren't as straightforward as I would have liked them to be. But it probably took us an hour. Which really wasn't bad. Like the hardest part was that it was so big and it was heavy. And then of course I didn't factor in the windowsill in my measurements. So once we started, I was like, Andrew, I don't think this is going to fit where I think it's going to fit. We might be rearranging my living room tonight. But it just fit perfectly. Like just fit.
So did you buy is this like office regulation? Like, is that why it was so heavy and whatever? Like
it supports 300 pounds. Like the desk, because you know what? Like, Carrie, I know how much money, like for me, this stuff is where I spend my money on Disney and this. Otherwise, I don't spend money on stuff. But like, I have this massive Apple computer. I'm not going to buy like a $200 desk and then it falls and it breaks my computer. So, and this is for the rest of my life.
300 pounds. So
yeah. So I bought the one that supports.
How much does a monitor weigh?
Well, apparently, after I ordered the desk, then I Googled how much my monitor weighs, and it's like 40 pounds or something. But whatever. So I could sit on this thing with my monitor, and it would support it. But yeah, so it works. I'm happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm happy. You know what? Because I think as I get older, sitting all day, because we both spend so much time at our desks that. As I get older, I just found that I was getting so stiff. And I thought, like, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to stop sitting at my desk. So I need something better. So this is
that's awesome.
This is it. So Andrew says he's gonna check in on me all the time to make sure I am in fact using it as a standing desk and I'm not just sitting on my butt. So that's my goal, to stand more.
I was thinking about getting one too, but I hadn't got that far because that does require me rearranging furniture in a room that doesn't have a lot of rearranging space. So, but
Carrie, this is yet another case where I have done all of the research for you. So we should talk. I've done all the research. They make smaller ones. Yeah. Let's talk.
I need a bigger, like my desk that I sit at is like an old school desk. Like it was from my grandma's house, which not saying it was my grandma's school desk, but it was like, you have that desk at your house, the one where the little wooden, it's got 2 little baby drawers and it's got the wooden plank that you pull out to write on it. Yeah. So I can fit, like my keyboard and then my laptop's on the stand, and I probably have I probably barely have 1 square foot available on my desk. So I can't, like, if I have my binders from work or whatever, like I have them all on like a TV tray beside me. Like I very much fought I didn't want my home office to be a home office.
Well, because you didn't want to be too comfortable in your home office.
Yeah.
But the problem is you still spend so much time in your home office.
So now I need to make it.
I think you need to.
I know. Yes. Maybe that'll be my fall project. I'll transfer my part of me wants to change the room I'm in, my office / Disney room into like a more of a creative space. But
ooh, this could be exciting. This is Pixie Dust for the future.
Yeah, but who knows? It's a lot, like, because I do have a craft lab in my basement. Right. Oh, I should have said my Pixie Dust was I finally opened up my die cut machine that I bought.
Did you? Yay!
I didn't plug it in yet, but it's out of the box.
I unpacked my Oswald lamp too. It's out of the box.
And yay! One thing, though, I know we're done. We've been talking for too long. Yeah, I know, but my silhouette, like when I did unpack it, like I was a little like, I know it's just a computer that has like blades to cut things, but it seemed very like just kind of plasticky. Like it really is like a plastic shell that you stick. And I thought, I don't know, like my old school version 1 Cricut was like heavy, sturdy. Like it had a little handle and it was whatever. And this thing just kind of feels like a bunch, like I'll have to see if I come to yours, I'll look at your Cricut, but the silhouette seems like it just seems like plastic where you stick in like with the trays and where you whatever, and then it's just where you stick in the blades where it cuts. Like it just seems kind of flimsy and plasticky, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. Although my Cricut is version 1 and it's like probably 25 years old, 20 years old or whatever, but yeah, it was I thought but then I said, well, it is. And the blades are like so I have to put the blades
in. It doesn't feel sturdy. Like
it just seems like a piece of plastic. It just seems like a piece of plastic. You lift up
That's why it was so cheap.
I don't know. Like it doesn't like, yeah, my Cricut version 1's like it could be a lethal weapon. Like you get the handle and you can swing it around. And this is, yeah.
Does it, maybe once you actually plug it in and you use it, you'll see like it's.
I just don't understand why it needs to be such a big piece of plastic if it's only got 2 little blades that are cutting things. Like you think they could have minimized it? Like it's jumbled. Like it would take up my whole desk here if I put it up here.
Really?
Like it's long. It's very, very long. And then it seems just kind of like a plastic shell until you put it, like you put but you think there'd be a way to kind of streamline it then, like, I know you need the space to put through the vinyl and it must be because it does like a big 12-inch wide thing, but like you think there'd be ways to like streamline it and make it not look like such a clunker. I'll send you a picture and I want to look, I'd like to see yours once I get it all set up, like see what your Cricut is in comparison to this
for sure.
silhouette. Yeah, but it's I haven't used it yet though, but it's unpacked. I unpacked it.
I can't wait to hear when you use it.
I don't even know what I want to cut or do anything with it. I just bought it because it was cheap, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, you got it. It's unpacked. Here we go. Carrie, we've done it
Bye.
again.
Gotta
We're
go.
Still
Bye.
Recording. Thanks for listening. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.